I want to do a video on Marcosias.
And as usual, stay triggered. Pew pew.
That is a really cool name, by the way. He's also a cool character. What is he? I turned him into a Dark Knight. So he starts off as a knight, and you can just kind of go through the classes. I believe he's a knight. I don't think he's a... Let me just double check here, because I almost wonder if he was a Viking. Nope, not a Viking. I get the impression, I think at one point I did try to turn him into a Viking. So anyways, forget what I said there, unless you want to turn him into a Viking. That's cool. Try it out. But you get a great sword, you get a heavy armor, you get a heavy helm, and a ring. That's what you get as a Dark Knight. Now, he's a 4D beer, because, you know, you start off around that range, but he's a 4 EB right now in level 25, which is excellent. So he is kind of along the line of an established knight. His hit points are, well, 676 is pretty good, but, you know, it could be a little better. It's not as high as some other knights are, right? So you got 76 agility, which is actually pretty fantastic. I like that. Intelligence of 86, not bad. For a Dark Knight, of course. And 205 MP. We're only level 25, so that can still go up. So, he's a pretty good established knight. You know, there are a couple little questionable things like hit points that, you know, maybe it was just my growth with him that didn't get up there that high. But you get Shield Block of A. There's a 20% chance of blocking with a shield when triggered. Damage is reduced by half. Now, I believe the Paladin has a slightly better shield block than Dark Knights do. I think it's 25 for a Paladin and 20 for a Dark Knight. I'll have to look at that again, but I'm actually at... Why don't we just go do that? Yeah, right there. Right there. Shield block for Paladins is 25. Shield block for Dark Knights is just 20. Yeah, that's amazing. I thought there might be something like this, but I never really thought about it too hard. But there it is. So Dark Knights don't get as great a shield block as the Paladins do, but they're supposed to be like the damage output dealers and just have a dark element and, you know, get into that whole emo, fuzzy kind of character. You know, it's just... don't get me wrong. I love Dark Knights. I play as them a lot. I have... Final Fantasy, I played a Dark Knight tank quite a lot. I also played Paladin start, but then when I had the Dark Knight, I'm like, yeah, I'm going full, you know, I'm going full Dark Knight. So, but Dark Knights are cool in this game. They're kind of like the Viking class, but you get the Dark Orb element. You get, I believe, a spell to go along with it. I want to check out his profile real fast, but Marcosias is a male, age 37, Dark Knight. This battle-hardened mercenary has seen it all. He once demonstrated his skills at the National Martial Arts Tournament, earning him employment as a bodyguard for the Uzula family. It can therefore come as no surprise that he quickly made himself available to Eliza when he heard of Gamol's military foray. Besides being skilled in swordsmanship, he's also a good judge of character. Of all the clients he has worked with throughout his mercenary career, the Uzula family is the one he trusts the most. This is an awesome guy. He just is. So let's look at some of these skills here. Dark Knights are, I don't know why the game did this, but they did it. They gave Dark Knights the ability to heal because you come through the Knight class and you're like, well, let's let them keep the heals. In the previous game, if you're one element, you just stay that element. You might lose or affiliations to that element that you came from because now you're a different element, especially when you're going from white to dark. Here, they let you keep a heal, so you do have a heal as a Dark Knight with intelligence of 86. It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good to have that. But what do we have for the normal attacks here? A Dark Slash, normal attack. It's slightly better than the Paladin class, as you saw probably previously in the other video. You can go back and check it. Paladin classes get a power of 130. This one, power of 140. So even though you're fighting against, like, let's say you have a Paladin versus Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, the basic attack will outshine a Paladin attack. The only difference is that if they both shield, Paladin will shield and mitigate more damage than the Dark Knight will. So it could be a toss-up, but it really depends on the random happen chance that you do while you're playing a game. That's an accuracy bonus of +1. I don't know why they even decided to do +1. They should just zero that out there. But we're looking at the second attack, which is a pre-move. These other two moves also pre-move. This is a -29% accuracy. It's actually, I think, a little worse accuracy than the Paladin's secondary stroke, but it is more powerful than the Paladin's attack too. So that is another boon on top of it. It's 180 power, which is, you know, pretty much the power of Divine Ray and heals and stuff like that. Although in this game I think they did lower Divine Ray a little bit. But Dark Knight is more powerful than a Paladin with these first two attacks. Now, you don't get the Super Judgment attack, which is the most powerful in comparison to anything the Dark Knight can do, but you get this move, which is even more effective in some ways than Judgment can be. And I'll tell you why. Dark Storm. It is a pre-move. It only just costs you 100... No. I'm scribbling too hard on this. I'm too excited. It only... Jeez, I need a better table to work with. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to scribble anymore, but I'm just going to kind of tell you what I'm thinking here. So it does have the power of 160, right? Which isn't as strong as the Paladin's Judgment, but it deals major damage to all units within a 1 hex radius and increases your attack and defense for a limited number of turns. Never misses. So it increases your attack and defense for a limited number of turns. So I think for 2 more turns, you get attack up and protect up. This move gives you this ability with damage and attack. It's just, yeah, you can do Iron Aura if you're burned out of magic, but why don't you just do a Dark Storm, crank up your attack, crank up your defense at that level? Normal attacks, hard, even Terror Attack, Dark Slash, anything else, you're just going to do more damage to a Paladin. If he has no shielding, if he does no shielding at all, you will outperform a Paladin with this ability and multiple other enemies around you, because this is a Viking swing hit move. This is the secret sauce skill that the Dark Knight has that shines over the Paladin. Just saying. You're going to get attack and defense up for a certain amount of turns just by using this and hitting. So it's kind of like Stella's move of Dragon's... not Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Destruction. Where she does a really powerful attack and then just cranks up her attack the next turn. This is the same thing the Dark Knight does. Stella is kind of akin to a Viking / Dark Knight, which, you know, it's along that line. This is a super powerful move. Really consider this. Don't keep any of your allies next to you when you do this. Yes, you'll hit them. You will kind of hurt them doing so. You do not get counterattacked by this move. There is no counterattack here. There is Iron Aura. You can use Iron Aura if you want to and crank yourself up. It's a defense for a limited number of turns, but this is defense and attack. This gives you 2 for 1 and hits the enemy at the same time and does a good amount of damage. So I honestly would probably choose Dark Storm as much as possible. Let them get close to surrounding you and keep a healer nearby. I wouldn't do... You have the Curse ability, which is like, you know, Divine Ray, 2 space radius. You could do this, and it's about the same as Dark Storm, but with Dark Storm, you hit 6 guys around you if you're fully effectively surrounded. You'll hit all 6 enemies. You'll just do more than this. I would just use a Curse if you have to absolutely hit a guy that's 2 spaces away, and there's no other way to reach it. Then I would go for Curse. Otherwise, I would just face tank, take the damage of them surrounding you, do a Dark Storm, crank up your attack, crank up your defense, and go to town. You also have a heal if you need it. That's pretty much it for Marcosias. Marcosias, yes, I can say that word now. I can say his name. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the Dark Knights? Do you like the Paladins? What do you think? You know, I would love to hear it. You know, there is a membership I have here. You can check that out if you want. And, you know, we'll be bringing out more of these videos pretty soon. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next Brigandine guide video.